Is it possible to have all these anglophones come together to speak in one voice?
Let me be categorically clear that it would be a little bit difficult. Mm-hmm. Of course, I belong to the Coalition for Dialogue and Negotiations. I belong to the Ghana Peace Conference. Most of those things I belong there. Mm. But you see, the regime has a policy of divide and rule. I would tell you that Yaoundé and the CPDM are not willing to see this crisis to come to an end. I said sometimes, if you listen to what Keda just mentioned, if we look at the different initiatives put in place, you realize that they are not willing. Dr. Gabila talked about foundation of honesty, which is correct. But do we have foundation of honesty in this crisis? No. If you listen to Kedia rigmaroring some few minutes ago, blowing grammar in the air, and telling you how the head of state has or took an oath to protect or what territorial sovereignty. He forgets that the same head of state took also oath to protect the people and guarantee their economic welfare, which they have lived in poverty and the situation is degrading till now. I don't know where he took one clause and left the other. He's like a preacher who takes one version of the Bible that satisfies his ego and leaves the other version, forgetting to know that the two versions are supposed to move hand in gloves. I was also surprised when Kenya on this platform was blowing grammar that one of the successes of the national dialogue has to do with the fact that 1st of October went on peacefully. Look at how bread and sardine has destroyed the medulla oblongata of CPDM psychophants on the ground. Let me remind those CPDM fellows who are there, because it is said, show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. Anybody who pretends behind that party and solution is not coming out should not tell us that it's an angel. No. It is a mafia system that pretends to provide solution with no solution coming at all. I know them. Let me remind those, because I'm coming from the ground where issues were on 1st of October. The fact that there was no loss of life does not mean that it is the outcome of the national dialogue. Whoever deceived these persons from the ruling party, it's only the devil who can tell us. People were scared. People were afraid to go out. And even the security officials knew that it would have been also safe for them to stay in. And because nobody went out, no life was lost. It is not as a result of the fallout from the national dialogue. I am saying this before God and man. Since as parties are based on lies telling, hear them gallivanting in the air with lies telling that because no life was lost, it is one of the successes. Point number 2. Kedia told us that back to school is a success because there's a lot of national dialogue. Do you hear psychophants on air? The CPDM understood that if you continue with arrogance, you will not get back to school. They did not tell them in the national dialogue that, please, don't be arrogant. They simply understood the game and said, but if we decide to come out, to start giving those cheeky words, these guys in the bushes might come out and jeopardize back to school. So they decided to comport themselves. Hence, the back to school is taking its face. It is not because the national dialogue contributed for back to school. I don't know where we get some of this analysis on the ground. I talk as an investigating journalist and someone who lives in these areas, who knows exactly what is transpiring for the back to school to operate. And so when we come to blow our ego because of bread and sardine, look at where we take ourselves to. Let me remind Kedia, the CPDM songbird, who says IDPs have reduced in these areas as a result of success of the national dialogue. No. I say no. I will tell you as an investigating journalist, the IDPs are reducing because many who came here found life unbearable in Douala and Yaoundé. I repeat, unbearable. I carried out a report where I went to the park there at Bonaberi and also in Yaoundé around the Meleng Obili area. There were some who were sleeping in abandoned cars. And when I spoke to one of them, they said, we prefer to go back than to die here because this is a foreign land. And some have braved the odds to go back, and they said they prefer to face the guns where they are sure they can manage food to eat than in the place where they find life bearable. The few who are selling in bars in Bonaberi and Douala on 10,000 francs per month, with about 10 in a room, many have relocated back that they prefer to go and die in the areas where they're coming from, whether it's Coco Boma, whether it is in a Kok or whatever, than to stay in an area where they are not, they find life pretty difficult. National dialogue has not guaranteed their success. Okay. So, when we put things in ground, I say again, there is the foundation of dishonesty that is not existing. CBDM and their songbirds and the Yaoundé regime, kangaroo of its kind, is not willing to solve this problem. When you hear utterances on the air, that's why I concur with Dr. Gabila, who says if we have the foundation of honesty, Mr. Luis, we'll go through. How do we come on air? National dialogue has no success. I said in political science, if you have a wrong formula, you get a wrong solution. People are gallivanting with political maneuvers to give us the impression that there is success. No, there's a shift in paradigm. I was expecting Kenya to tell me that because of the national dialogue, they have changed people from holding AK-47 and rocket launchers now to peace plants and to rubber gun as it was before. I've not heard him say that. So the fact that the game has changed and now it's a tactical guerrilla warfare does not mean that things have improved. On the other hand, the boys have changed tactic. The constant shooting in the markets, constant shooting in the quarters, have been shifted down to what we call guerrilla warfare and ambush along the highway. It does not mean that things have changed because the number of deaths we are recording on an average of 6, 7 daily on the ground tells you that national dialogue has not yielded any fruits as compared to what the CPD people would want to give us the impression that things are improving, things are under control. No, I speak because I will prove it here and at any time based on information on the ground and also as somebody who works on the ground day in, day out for the updates.
All right, Mr. Fibes, thank you.